Yes, people, what's happening? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another daily transfer update. And we are heading into the final 3 days of the transfer window now. And still, Chelsea have not signed anyone yet. But there have been a few rumours going about in regards to a forward. But other than that, I can't really see anyone coming in. Will we get any more outgoings before the window goes either? I'm not too sure. Maybe Trevor Chalobah might move on. But other than that, I don't see anyone coming in for Amanda Broja unless they're doing it tomorrow or Tuesday. And we would need a replacement. So I'm not sure if there's going to be any more transfer business or not. But there are a few bits and pieces to get into. As always, we've got the FA Cup 5th round draw. If we do get past Aston Villa, it will be a home tie against Plymouth or Leeds, whoever wins the replay there. Got the latest on Conor Gallagher, who reportedly is reportedly expecting around 150k a week. And he currently earns 50. Obviously got the latest. Chelsea reportedly interested in Lille's Jonathan David. And they're also amongst the clubs who are monitoring Alphonso Davies' situation at Bayern Munich. Chelsea still hold interest in Michael Olise as well, but reportedly he prefers a move to Man United in the summer. And reportedly as well, Callum Wilson has told his agent that he is open to the possibility of leaving St James's Park and signing for Chelsea. Whether how true that is or not remains to be seen. But yeah, there are a few bits and pieces to get into as always, guys. So make sure you smash the like button. We need to hit 50 likes minimum. That's always the first port of call, guys. So make sure as soon as you get in, hit that like button. It's free and it takes seconds. Please subscribe to the channel as well if you're new around here. Hoping to hit 8K before the end of the month, but that's looking a little bit ambitious at this point in time. It's the 28th already, and we're about 320 away still. So yeah, guys, if you're new around here, please hit the subscribe button. Please run the likes up, and let's dive into it. Let's say hello to a few people, and then we'll get into proceedings, guys. I don't know if Davies would be a backup, but he would certainly, be a good option to have. Although I suspect that he either renews at Bayern or will go to Real Madrid. But we'll get into that. If we win, it will be Leeds or Plymouth, whoever wins the replay there, and it will be another home tie in the cup. Alphonso Davies would absolutely be an upgrade, and I suspect the club will look to move Cucurella on this summer. Absolutely. If we sign Davies, then Cucurella. Yeah, Cucurella. I think Cucurella will go this summer. I think that's probably pretty clear. The Callum Wilson stuff we'll get into. Probably. I don't know. David would be more of a long-term thing, but Wilson for a short-term would be better, I think. Hope we get a striker in January for a short-term. I'm not sure if we will. Yes, Nick, big up. Yes, brother. Like the sound of Davis coming in. It would be a great deal if we could do it. But as I said, let's be real. It's going to be, he'll either renew at Bayern or he's going to go to Real Madrid. That's what I see happening. I don't see him coming to Chelsea. Yes, I know he said he's a Chelsea fan, but I think with no Champions League football probably next season and whatnot, I think we're unlikely. Wilson is more injury prone. Yeah, Wilson has picked up a lot of injuries. Yes, Wes, hope you're doing well, bro. All is good with me. Do you think we're going to sign Osimhen 100%? No, you can never be certain, but I think that he's clearly the top target of the clubs. And I think there's a good chance that we do get him. But no, there can never be 100% certain until he's holding the shirt up. Yes, Roseanne, big up. Hope you're doing well. But let's dive into things. Let's get into the FA Cup quickly, because that's kind of, the 5th round draw took place today. And Chelsea will be facing either Leeds or Plymouth. Should be progressed to the FA Cup 5th round. We will face Leeds United or Plymouth at Stamford Bridge. Another home tie. That is mad, isn't it? When you think about it, think how many home ties in the cup we've had. I can't remember the last time we were away from home in a cup competition. Obviously, every single round of the Carabao Cup, bar obviously one of the legs in the semi-final, we've been at home. And every round of this FA Cup so far, we've been at home. We've been at home as well. Let's bring up the FA Cup draw in full, and then we will go from there. Let me just find it now. So the FA Cup 5th round draw. Let's see. No, it's not got it in full there. But yeah, FA Cup 5th round draw. Not some big ties, but then some straightforward ties as well. So let me just bring this up on screen and we can go through the round in the draw in whole. But yeah, look, another favourable draw, and it just makes it more frustrating that we didn't get the job done on Friday night when we should have done. Yes, if there had been extra time or whatever in the first in this replay, then I think we potentially might have lost that match, because Villa were certainly finishing strong and coming back into the game in the last sort of 15, 20 minutes or so. So if there had been extra time, then I think we could have been in trouble. But this is again another big motivation. Not that we should need it, but to go up to Villa Park and try and get a massive result, because you've got a home tie against Leeds or Plymouth, where, with the greatest respect to those two teams, we should be progressing, and that would be, a place in the quarterfinals. And suddenly, things do begin to open up. So let's have a look at the draw in full. Obviously, we've still got to get through Aston Villa at Villa Park, which I think is going to be a very, very difficult job for us to do. But at the same time, who knows? So Man United obviously currently 2-1 against Newport. So it's going to be Blackburn or Wrexham against Newcastle. Obviously, Luton taking on Man City. It's going to be Coventry or Sheffield Wednesday against Maidstone. It's going to be Bournemouth hosting Leicester, Wolves, Brighton. Liverpool will be playing, I believe, I'm not sure who Liverpool are playing. I think Liverpool are playing, I don't know. So yeah, that's obviously the draw. There's not that many big times. Nottingham Forest or Bristol City will face Man United or Newport. It'll be Watford or Southampton will take on Liverpool. They'll face a trip to Anfield. So the draw's not, it's not amazing. There's not that many big ties in it, to be perfectly honest. No, there's not really any big ties in this round. There's not. You probably said the biggest one would be Nottingham Forest, Man United, providing obviously Man United get through. So yeah, FA Cup situation for us there, people. I want away games for once. Well, look, obviously, I don't mind it, because it makes it a lot cheaper as a match day experience, because there's not an awful lot of traveling to do. But yeah, I get it. At the same time, it would be nice to have an away tie, because we haven't had an away tie for a while. But yeah, the lie of the land in the FA Cup is going to be very, very interesting. It is suddenly opening up a little bit. It is opening up a bit, which is great for us. But it's going to be really tough. But yeah, potentially Leeds or Plymouth awaiting us if we can get through the replay. That's going to be the tough one. Can we get through the replay at Villa Park to then land us a nice home tie against Leeds or Plymouth Argyle? But yeah, that's the FA Cup. Let's move on to the transfer news, because that's what we're here for, people. That's what we're here for. Let's start with the news on Conor Gallagher. This is Ben Jacobs reporting this via Give Me Sport. And reportedly, Conor Gallagher is no closer to a new deal at Chelsea. Well, we know that. He would also expect around 150k a week, but it's complicated as he currently earns 50k per week. Sources say he would ideally like to stay this window, especially with a League Cup final on the horizon. Let me just dive into this article here. Let's see what the article's saying about this situation. Let me find it now. Chelsea. And it's understood currently considering Chelsea are hoping for, and many sources feel will push for, a permanent in any deal. It was the same with Ian Martin, and eventually the club softened their stance with Dortmund, but it appears the starting point with Broja will be to try and get a fee by a straight transfer or loan with obligation, although some reports indicate Chelsea will be holding out for 50 million plus. My understanding remains offers will be entertained around the 35 million mark and upwards. Aston Villa also like Brea but haven't made an inquiry yet. Wolves also, but currently the price is too high, and West Ham can't be entirely discounted due to holding a historical interest, having made a £33 million bid in summer 22. So this is the Conor Gallagher stuff then. So Conor Gallagher exit this window is like Brea, but can't be entirely ruled out. Chelsea's policy is to consider offers of players who have less than 2 years left on their contract, take 45 million plus, and some sources indicate the total package Chelsea might accept will be closer to 60 million pounds with bonuses included. Gallagher is no closer to a new deal despite being one of Chelsea's top performers this season. He would also expect around 150k a week with Enel, which is another complicating factor, with it being suggested he currently earns just 50k a week, according to Spot Rack. Sources say Gallagher would ideally like to stay this window, especially with a League Cup final coming up against Liverpool. But the fact Enzo and Caicedo may well start that game in his place somewhat illustrates why Chelsea are considering trying to cash in. Spurs haven't made the bid yet for Gallagher or even open for talk, but if Højbjerg departs, they could yet provide us with some late drama in the final few days of the window. Spurs valued Gallagher at close to 35 million last summer and would need to offer far more to stand a chance if they do choose to move. So look, this Gallagher thing for me, I'm not saying that he is, God and he's the be all and end all and he's going to have yes, big up, brother. I think to be honest, mate, he's probably still on the first contract that he signed when he first broke into the team or something like that. I suspect he's still on the same deal. I don't want Conor Gallagher to go to Spurs. Even if Spurs offered money, I don't think Gallagher's accepting that. Yes, big up, brother. Who do you think will leave and who will come? I think if anyone leaves, maybe Chalobah goes and potentially Amanda Broja might leave. And if we sign anyone, I've got no idea, mate. I'm not sure if we're going to sign anyone or not. That's the reality. But if we are, then we do need to get a move on. It's already Sunday evening and we need to sign someone. We need to, if someone's going to come, then this needs to get moving pretty quickly. But on the Gallagher front, I just feel like he'll have a year left on his contract come the summer. It's clear that talks haven't really taken place. We don't seem to be any further down the road in regards to Gallagher and his contract. And I look at it and I'm like, look, whatever you think of it, whether you think he's going to be at Chelsea long term, which I don't think he will be, but either way, he should be offered a new contract, whether that's to maintain his value, because right now, if we don't renew him, then we're going to get if we don't renew him, then this is going to be the most money we can get for him would be this window, because come the summer with a year left. Yes, you can say with a year left, we got 60 million or 55 million for Mason Mount, but I don't think the same market. There's a market for Gallagher, sure, but I don't think at the sort of figures that Chelsea would be looking at with a year left on his deal, that would be what we get. So, look, for me, 150k is quite a big jump from 50. It says around. It says around 150. So look, that could easily be 100, 110, 120 or whatever. I don't think that's unreasonable, but then it depends on where is that the base or is that with all potential bonuses and whatnot? Would it be a lower base wage? We don't know. But ultimately, I think what I'm getting at here is that this shouldn't really be a conversation about whether we renew Conor Gallagher or not. It should be an obvious thing to do, given how he started the season, given how much the manager likes him and how much the manager's used him, and given the fact that he's got 18 months left on his contract, and the way that he's performed in the first half of the season shows that he would deserve a contract extension. And look, I'm not saying he should start every week, by the way, but I think he can be a very useful squad player for us, coming on in the last sort of 15, 20 minutes of games, starting games here and there. Like there's definitely a use for him. Look, if we sell him in the summer, we sell him in the summer. But I just think selling him partway through the season, for me, wouldn't really make much sense. Because I still think for this season, I think he's still going to be quite important for us. Look, if he goes, and I'm not going to you know, I'm not going to, lose any sleep over it if he goes. I just feel that it would be a big mistake personally. But if people think differently, they think differently. But look, for me, offering Gallagher a new contract should be a no-brainer. And people say, oh, well, like, oh, but if we gave him over 100K, then it'll be really hard to shift him. It absolutely wouldn't be hard to shift him. 100K in football terms is not a lot of money. I think you'd find ample clubs that would pay Conor Gallagher, more than 100K. I think they'd be out there. Fair enough. My prediction is that we sell one of Gallagher or Chalobah and sign Wilson on deadline day. I don't know. Callum Wilson, let's wait and see. I'll get into that a little bit later on. All okay, mate. All okay. So links to Jonathan Dyer today, Callum Wilson, Robertson, the fullback, Robinson or Anthony Robinson, I think it is, from Fulham, Osimhen, Olise and Davies from Bayern, maybe. So Gallagher in the summer and sell Broja in January. Broja in January, the only reason why I'd slightly hold off on that is because despite the fact that he's not very good, it's an option, it's a body. And with not being able to trust in Nkunku's fitness and the fact that he's not an out-and-out 9 and having to solely rely on Jackson for the remainder of the season, I think we're taking a big gamble. I like Poch. This is one major blind spot. It's so slow in moving. I agree, and I've said it many times. Where players take 1 or 2 touches, Gallagher will take 3 or 4. But he has been good this season. He's been important to the team. So yeah, look, I think end of the season, different conversation. But right now, for me, it doesn't make sense to sell him this window, particularly given the fact that Ugochukwu and Lavia are out long term. Santos is away. And yeah, we haven't actually got that many numbers. Considering our financial situation, Kimi Connor as a squad player doesn't make sense. We could really use the money. I don't think we're not in a bad financial situation. I think a lot more is made of that than is actually the case. Yeah, quite possibly. I think again they're looking at these guys, but then again, if they feel there's value in a player, that Reece James was extended, no problems. I mean, Chalobah at the time extended as well. So yeah, I mean, let's wait and see what happens to this Gallagher situation. But the fact of the matter is that it just seems like we're not really any further along with this. It doesn't appear to have been any talks or over a new contract. So we're kind of where we're at. But once you get to a year left, it's going to be, you limit the amount of money you're going to get for him, because it's going to end up being a lot less money. But I'm unsure. By the way, guys, over 50 in the building, only 25 likes. Let's ramp this up, people. We need another 25 likes to hit the minimum 50 likes mark. So make sure you are doing that. Make sure you're doing it. I don't know. Wilson's okay. He got 17 goals in the Premier League last season. And at 31 years of age on a short-term deal, it might not be horrendous, although his injury record is a bit of a concern. Well, yeah, that's the issue. That's the problem. Yeah, I agree. But as you say, bro, if he stays fit, that's the big problem. That's the big question mark. Is he going to stay fit? Look, 150K a week, who knows? But he deserves a new contract, and he certainly deserves a pay rise from the reported 50K that he's on. I think that much is absolutely clear. Benzema would be a dream signing. No, it's not going to happen. Like, Al Ittihad don't want to let him go. And also, the wages are extortionate. Even if you covered like 90% of the wages, it's still a ridiculous amount. What else we got? For Osimhen, would he actually be worth it after all the money we spend on him? Look, he's a very good player. But as I was saying the other day, for me, he's not as good as people think, or he's not as good as people make him out to be. I think there's an exceptional talent there. I think there's a lot of ability there. But this right now with Victor Osimhen, good player, but I just don't think he's quite as good as a lot of people make him out to be at this point in time. But look, with Gallagher, I think ultimately we're going to wait and see what happens. It's clear that the club don't want to renew him. It's clear they do want to move him on. So I don't know why they just don't come out and say that, or why they just, maybe they are making it obvious. But at the same time, they're going to have to, if they want the money, they're going to have to sell him. So, we've been linked with Amadou Onana with that. We've been linked with him, but again, Gallagher's no closer. Gallagher wants to stay. The club don't want him, and now I feel like we've seen this before. They're preemptively trying to create a narrative that he only wants money. He doesn't want to stay here. They spun the narrative with Mount. They spun it with Lewis Hall, and now they seem to be spinning it again with Conor Gallagher. Now, people can disagree or not with that, but I just think we've seen this. We've seen this before. We've seen it before with many players. But I don't know. Look, he deserves a new contract and he deserves a pay rise. Whether on those terms or not, it's hard to say. But what I would say is that if you're looking to get 45, 50 million pounds of Gallagher, then you'd expect that sort of a player to be on a lot more, sort of a 45, 50 million pound player to be on a lot more money than, say, 50k a week. That much is absolutely clear. But I don't see Gallagher going anywhere this window unless Spurs are kind of plotting a last minute madness. But I wouldn't expect that to be the case. I just don't think that would be their style, but who knows? You do just never know. Look, I think he's a very good footballer. All I'm saying is I just don't think he's as good as I'm seeing some people make him out to be. And that's just my opinion on it. Look, if he comes, I'll be delighted. I think he's a very good player. All I'm saying is I just don't think he's as good as I've seen some people make him out to be. Get Wilson, and he knows he will ultimately play second fiddle. He scores goals. That is a massive improvement on Broja. Yeah, I'd agree. I don't know if we'll get any deadline signings because we're playing Liverpool on Wednesday, aren't we? And that's deadline day. So I imagine that the focus is going to be on that. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure we will get any deadline signings. Give him 100k a week and a year subscription to Netflix. Yeah, we could do that. Newcastle won't sell Callum Wilson for 10 million. No chance. I think in this day and age, in this market, 18 million is probably not that bad for Callum Wilson. It's just the injury issues are the big question mark. We just need experience in this squad, but our owners don't seem to be going in this direction. Had they took a punt on older signings too, we would not be. I think that's a fair thing to say. I'm not saying we wouldn't be in this situation, but there's definitely a chance that we'll be doing a lot better with a few more experienced heads. That much is absolutely clear. I'm not gonna deny that at all. But yeah, let's wait and see what happens with Gallagher. Obviously, the clock's ticking. He's going to be a year left on his contract in the summer. It appears no talks have taken place. It's clear the ownership want to move him on. And yeah, that's the reality. The ownership want to move him on, and it's going to be up to Gallagher now. He either leaves and Chelsea get money for him, or he thinks, you know what, fuck you guys. You've tried to force me out of the club. I'm going to leave on a free, and you're not going to get anything. You're not going to get anything for me. There's every chance that potentially happens as well. So let's wait and see. But reported demands of around 150k, I don't think are outrageous. And I certainly don't think it makes it any harder to shift him further down the line either. So let's wait and see what happens with him. But let's move away from the Conor Gallagher stuff and let's move on to reported interest in Lille's Jonathan David. Now, again, this is another player that has been linked with a move away from Lille on a number of occasions. Let me just see what the article is saying. He's not in as good a form this season as he has been in previous seasons. But apparently, according to Get French Football News, he's normally pretty reliable, I must say. Chelsea's desire to recruit a centre-forward is no secret. Obviously, Belgian journalist Sacha Tavlieri reports that Victor Osimhen, whose departure from Napoli at the end of the season has already been announced, has chosen to join Chelsea. Let's wait and see on that front. Telefoot now reveals that Lille's Jonathan David, a 24-year-old, is also of interest to the Premier League. Had been expected that the Canadian forward would leave Lille last summer. However, clubs were ultimately put off by the 60 million euro price tag, and he's endured a tough start to the season. But since the November international break, he's rediscovered his goal-scoring touch, scoring 4 times in his last 6 appearances. Whilst L'Equipe reported that David looks set to remain at Lille this month, Telefoot understands that many of Europe's top clubs are following the Canadian international situation closely. As well as Chelsea, Napoli, AC Milan and Atletico Madrid are also following David. Questions on the specific interest of the aforementioned clubs, David said, when you're young, these are the clubs you watch, these are the clubs that you think about. It's flattering. I appreciate it. As we say every year, we'll see what the future has in store for us. Now, David is a decent player, 24 years of age, but I wouldn't describe him as an out-and-out centre-forward. For me, he's more one of those, I guess, one that you would describe as a wide forward. A wide forward is probably how you describe Jonathan David. But not the most prolific. You know, he has scored a lot of goals for Lille, but he has struggled as well a little bit also. Osimhen and Wilson will have ability to raise their game with Palmer and Nkunku feeding, quite possibly. Broja David swap deal. I'll be honest, mate. Swap deals very, very rarely happen in football because there's too many things that have to be agreed upon. I'm not saying that David's unbelievable, but you know, I don't think it would be a horrendous signing. But I personally don't see Chelsea being the club that David would join if he leaves Lille. I was impressed by his performances for Canada in the World Cup. Fair enough. Yes, Brian, up the Chelsea for sure. Let's have a look at Jonathan David. Let's see what he's done so far this season. Then let's have a look. There's a little transfer marked on him. Lovely. 24 years of age. I'm going to bring this up on the screen now. And let's have a little look at him and just see what potentially he could be bringing to Chelsea. We're going to accept. Jonathan David, 6 goals and 18 appearances so far this season in Liga. That's about a goal, one in 3 strike rate. In the Conference League, he scored 1 goal in 4 appearances. Doesn't play for France. French Cup, 3 goals in 2 appearances. And a Conference League, 1 goal in 2. So 6 goals in the French League and 18 appearances. Main position, centre forward. What else has he been doing? So he signed for 27 million euros in 2020 from Ghent in Belgium. And he's got 11 goals in 26 appearances this season so far. Now, let's view his full stats. Let's get rid of that. And see what it's saying. So we filter it by the season, guys. Let's go back to last season on Jonathan David. Was it last season where he had a good season? Let me have a quick look. Oh, come on. Right, whilst we're waiting for that to load up. Okay, here we go. Oh, God, this transfer marks thing's so long to load up. Right, so 22-23. That was a good season for me. He had 24 goals in 37 Liga appearances. I think there was a season before as well where he did decent. 15 in 38. Maybe it was that 22-23 season where he was good, and the 2021 season was the first one he joined. I think it was that 22-23 season where that was like the standout performance. Yeah, or 13 goals in his first season. So look, he obviously scores goals. He's not horrendous, but I think for the money involved, it might not be it might not be worth it. And I just don't look at Jonathan David as an elite level striker. That's just simply, unfortunately, that's just not how I view him. I just don't see him as being that great. But you know, it is what it is. 6 goals and 18 appearances so far. Let's kind of wait and see what happens with this one. But this is a player that Chelsea have constantly been linked with. You know, over the last few years, Chelsea have definitely been linked with Jonathan David on a number of occasions. We need experience. That's what Pochettino wants. I mean, David, I wouldn't say is an inexperienced player. But look, 60 million euros is about 52 million quid. It's a lot of money. No, the Benzema thing is not about being. It's the wages that are ridiculous. You know, he's on like well over $1 million a week. You know, that's ridiculous. At least there will be an improvement over Jackson and Breuer. Jackson's been very good for us, I feel, actually. And you know what? We actually are, you know, we're missing Nicholas Jackson, and we can tell that, you know, now that he's not playing for us, now that he's at the AFCON, you know, you can see what he brings. Yeah, absolutely, mate. Absolutely. In his first season at Chelsea, he's not. He's not. But when was the last time that anyone scored 20 goals for Chelsea in a season? I think it's been quite a while. I think it has been quite a while, guys. Let's be brutally honest. There's over 60 people in the building. Still only 32 likes. Let's run this up. Come on, guys. Sunday evening settings. A little bit of transfer news going on. Nice little chat and all that. I'm not asking for any money. All you need to do is smash that like button. Let's get this up to 50 and then get this as close to 100 likes as we possibly can, guys. So please do run it up, people. Smash that like button. It's free and it's the quickest and easiest way of supporting the channel. No excuses not to get this done, guys. You know, if you don't get these likes up, people, we're going to get hammered on Wednesday night, and you don't want that on your conscience, do you? Yes, big up, brother. I'm not happy with the draw against Villa. With the reason why we drew is because we don't have a proper striker in the team. No, fair enough. No, I wouldn't say he's a 60 million euro striker either. But at the same time, yeah, he is better than Breuer. But you've got to make that shouldn't just be the only benchmark, you know. Just being better than Breuer. That's not enough. Smash the likes and subscribe. Come on, people. Yes, yes, yes. Harder to score goals in the Prem than any other league, I think. Yeah, certainly you could definitely be right on that. You know, you could definitely be right on that front for sure. Do you think Jackson will be a bench player when we get an elite striker? Yes, he'll be a rotation option for sure. But you need a squad. You need a big squad. And so, yeah, he would still get plenty of game time, in my opinion. We must beat Villa. We could get another easy home tie. Yeah, I know. Which just makes it that little bit more frustrating that we couldn't take our chances on Friday night because, you know, as you say, a nice home tie. Now you're joking. It's 2-2 in the Man United game. Surely, a Newport going to get a replay? Nah, you are joking. Eric Ten Heineken, 2-2. Nah, that's banter. Man United and Newport County 2-2, and they were 2-0 up as well. That's mad. That is mad. Hopefully it's not. There's no VAR at Newport, is it? So I guess it counts. That's unbelievable. These man 2-0 up against Newport and fucking 2-2. Oh god, you can always rely on the Man United implosion to make things better, can't you? How long's left in the game, by the way? How long's left? His wages don't exist outside of Saudi. He knows he's going to have to take a pay cut, but even then, take that 50 mil and give 25. I don't think it's that simple. I like Wilson as a short-term option, but it's the injury issues he has. We don't need any more. I agree. Yeah, exactly. Piss poor likes. It is piss poor likes at the moment, people. It is piss poor. 36 now. Come on, guys. Come on. Mental. Mate, we're only a point below. We're a point below. I actually wouldn't be opposed to Jonathan David. No, I hear you. It wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, but at the same time, bro, it's like it's not that much of a level up from what we've already got. You know, he wouldn't be the elite striker that we're looking for. You know, do you know what I mean? It would very much be, yeah, maybe it's a slight improvement on what we've got already, but it's not taking us to that next level. It's not someone that's going to be that top level. It's not someone that's going to be that top level striker we're looking for. That's going to score us the goals. That much for me is clear. You know, it's just not gonna happen, in my opinion. It's just not gonna happen. But yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting, won't it? It will be interesting to see what we do. Varane and goal, fair. It's just Man United. That's what they do. Second half just started, fair. We need other results to start going our way ASAP. Yeah, we do. Is Palmer the best player in the team? Yeah, I think Cole Palmer is exceptional for us right now. Yeah, no, look, I think there's a risk with pretty much every transfer, unless you're signing like Cristiano Ronaldo or Messi or Mbappe or whatever. There's always going to be a level of risk attached to every transfer, and that's kind of just that. Unfortunately, is just the way it goes. I know it's not that simple, but I'm not hearing the bollocks about not being able to afford his wages. No, it's not about not being able to afford it. It's just whether they think it's going to be value for money. I think Chelsea will finish above United this season. I also think that. But let's move away from Jonathan David, because that's certainly one that I don't think is going to happen. It's not going to happen this window, but it certainly could happen. Maybe it could happen in the summer. I think David could well leave Lille in the summer. Yeah, look, he's obviously scored more. He's obviously a bit more of a goal scorer than Jackson is, but I think Jackson certainly has got the potential and those raw attributes to definitely be better than David. But let's wait and see. But let's move away from Jonathan David. Let's quickly move on to the Callum Wilson stuff, because that kind of broke a few days ago, and then we've had a bit more news. Again, the source little bit iffy, but you know has got some things right in the past. Let's wait and see. Let's wait and see. But yeah, look, obviously, Newcastle striker Callum Wilson has reportedly told his agent that he is open to the possibility of leaving St James's Park and signing for Chelsea, with a surprise 18 million deal now being strongly tipped to go through before the transfer window closes. Well, if we want this guy, why are we just not doing it now? Like, surely it's not that difficult to do. Wilson would definitely be open to coming. And, you know, the fee and the wages wouldn't be a problem. So, do you know what I mean? With the days ticking down, why would we not be doing this? You know, that would be my sort of argument. Why would we not be doing this? It doesn't really make sense. Like, if this is genuinely true and Wilson be open to joining and we need a centre forward, unless we're still exploring other options, I don't really know. This is not a hard deal to do. If we genuinely want Callum Wilson, this deal couldn't be more easy to do. It literally there couldn't be an easier deal out there. In my opinion, I wouldn't have thought so. I mean, maybe he's got some backers, but yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have thought in general there'd be, you know, a unanimous decision on Callum Wilson within the sporting directors within the board. I think that much is absolutely fair and is obviously absolutely correct as well. But you know, this stuff is really tricky, isn't it? It is tricky. Look, rather Aranyak. I mean, although Awony's been out for a while injured, I don't know if to be honest, I'm not sure. Forest do offer quite a lot of wages, so I don't know. I don't know for certain. But look, Awonyi is a decent player. But again, it's not going to happen this month, and he's injured at the moment as well. This season is becoming a write-off when you think about it. I don't think it is at all, mate. We've got a cup final. We're still in the FA Cup. We're 3 or 4 points off sixth in the table. Like, you know, there's lots to play for in the second half of the season. This season is certainly not a write-off. I don't believe that at all. Yes, but Newcastle wouldn't do a loan, in my opinion. They'd want a straight sale. I think in certain cases, you know, Chelsea will go for older players, more experienced players, and right now a centre forward in January does fall into that category. Well, they wouldn't offer him a 5-year contract because he's 31 years of age. So, yeah, they'd have to amortize it over maybe a 2-year deal, potentially 3. In my opinion, if we did sign him, it would be like do you know what I mean? It'd be one of them. It'd be like a 1+1. Sell Broja, get Wilson, Osimhen in the summer, and Jackson on the wing. I don't know about that, because we have already got, you know, a good set of decent wingers. So yeah, I'm not too sure about that one. We're still in the race. We're still in the race, but we've got to start motoring a little bit now. We've got to start getting a little bit of a shift on. Had the potential to be a great cup team this season, dominated all opposition in both Carabao and FA Cup. Yeah, I would agree on that. You know, so far the only bad game we've had in the cup this season was that first leg at Borough. Other than that, we've played well in all other cup games. So yeah, no, we've definitely got the potential to be a very decent cup side this season. I absolutely agree with that. The answer to that is I don't know. I don't know that. That's the honest answer to the question. Yeah, again, that's not fully gone through yet, but that's been agreed. And I think Nusa will stay at Club Brugge to the end of the season and then join Brentford in the summer. That's a big steal for them, a player that we've looked at, a player that obviously Spurs were looking at as well. Well, it's not about helping them, you know. Like if a byproduct of, you know, us being able to get a centre forward in that's going to help us means it slightly eases Newcastle's financial situation, then so be it. In my opinion, we don't need any more players apart from a goal scorer. Agreed on that front. Hopefully, Gusto back for the Liverpool game. We need him. I also agree on that. But yeah, look. Wilson's an interesting one. It's definitely one to watch, but you know, I think the more that the days go by, if the Wilson move is genuinely going to happen, then we need to start getting concrete stuff tomorrow, absolute latest Tuesday, because obviously we play the game against Liverpool on the Wednesday night. So yeah, it's going to have to be absolute latest. It'll have to be Tuesday, like to start getting concrete stuff and an offer and stuff going in and all that sort of thing. So if we don't really get anything concrete on this Wilson deal tomorrow, then never say never, but I would say it would be looking very unlikely. But in terms of like an experienced centre forward that knows the league, that would come in and make a difference, that would put away some of the chances that we create, then yeah, absolutely, that would be a, you know, he would certainly tick a lot of boxes for us. Absolutely. If Nusa goes to Brentford, what a laugh on Spurs. Who thought? Yeah, I think many people thought it was going to Spurs. Chile left back, Gusto right back for the game against Liverpool. Hopefully, realistically, they can turn 18 million into 90 million over 5 years. I mean, Wilson wouldn't get a 5-year deal though because he's 31 years old. Do you know what though? So yeah, Norwich obviously poor, but like I think, you know, the last 7 or 8 games against Liverpool have all finished in a draw. I think there's every chance that we can get a positive result. It's going to be a very difficult game. I'm also going to talk more about it on Monday and Tuesday, but I don't think there's any reason for us to be doom and gloom and not that optimistic. By the way, guys, we're 6 likes from 50. Come on, people. 51 still in the building. Keep smashing that like button. It's free and it takes seconds to do. So please do that. It would be greatly appreciated, guys. So yeah, please do run the likes up. Let's get this to 50 and then let's get it on as close to 100 as we possibly can. That would be fantastic, guys. And I would greatly appreciate it. So please do that one thing for me. If we get a striker, I hope we push for Europa League football next season. Look, a striker, I think that guarantees us Europa League football next season. But you know, even without, I still think we've got more than enough. If no one comes in this window, I still think we've got more than enough, guys, to get that Europa League football, to finish in 6th place. I think there's enough in the squad. But as I said, Callum Wilson, let's wait and see what happens on that front, because it is certainly going to be an interesting one. But as I said, guys, you know, if this move has got genuine legs in it, then we need some concrete stuff on it really by end of play tomorrow. There absolutely needs to be that. Let's move away. from this Wilson thing. We really need a win against top opposition away from home. Beating Liverpool would be huge, but we don't have a decent striker, so it's going to be hard. Yeah, it will be difficult, but then again, we just need the other players in the squad to step up, which they have done, but we just got to hope that we've got our finishing boots on. That's the big one. Make sure we've got our finishing boots on. That is what we must do. Must do. Get the finishing boots on, people. Get them on. That is what we need to do. But yeah, let's move away from Callum Wilson then. And let's move on to a bit of other news regarding, let's go with Alphonso Davies first. Now, again, this is a very unlikely move to happen, in my opinion, for Chelsea, but we're going to discuss it anyway. Chelsea are among the clubs monitoring Alphonso Davies' contract situation at Bayern Munich. The Canadian left-back's current deal is due to expire in the summer of 2025. Let's get onto the full article below and see what is being said in there. We obviously know that he's got a year left on his deal come the summer. Chelsea and Man City have been alerted to Alphonso Davies' Canadian left back and talk over an extension are yet to reach a positive conclusion. He's recently lost face in Tuchel's starting 11 to Rafa Guerreiro amid concerns affecting his performances on the pitch. But the 23-year-old's agent, Nadal Olise, I think I've absolutely butchered that pronunciation, has since declared his client is fully focused on Bayern, who are planning to hold further talks to resolve the issue in the coming weeks. The latest contract proposal is understood to be worth around $8.5 million per season. Sources in Germany suggest Davies has been looking for up to $11 million a season, meaning it's highly likely there is still some negotiating to do before an agreement is reached. Real Madrid are also in the picture as they are plotting a summer transfer swoop after identifying Davies as one of their top targets alongside Kylian Mbappe. Madrid are thought to view Davies as an upgrade on Ferland Mendy, who could be moved on at the end of the current campaign. Yet Chelsea and City could also enter the run to finalise a new deal for Davies before the end of the season, in which case the Bavarian giants will be forced to consider permanent offers for the speedy starlet, as he is due to enter the final 12 months of his contract on July 1st. Chelsea are targeting a new left-back in the summer as competition for Ben Chilwell, with Levi Colwill expected to displace Thiago Silva at the heart of the defence, though it's not a given they will move for Davies if he's demanding a substantial wage at Bayern. Martin's future will be reassessed following his loan with Dortmund, while Cucurella could also be sold. Bayern thought they had a broad agreement in place with Davies over a contract extension last spring, but the issue became complex and was later pushed to one side. Tuchel said earlier this week when asked about Davies being dropped to the bench, Fonzie is a very nice and sensitive guy. He is self-critical, and I think the situation is holding him back more than inspiring him. So not necessarily concrete links to Chelsea, but nonetheless, Davies is a top player. He would be a huge signing. But I think ultimately, when you look at it, if Real Madrid are in the mix, if Man City are in the mix, then unfortunately, as good as Chelsea is and as much pull as we have, we're not going to get picked. He's not going to pick those guys, us ahead of those other teams. But yeah, I mean, let's wait and see. Let's wait and see. Davies is a Chelsea fan. I've seen that Liverpool. I've seen that thing. Big up Stuart. Any news? No news on Lavia whatsoever, other than the fact that he's still injured. Malang Sarr, I think, is training with like the under 23s or the under 18s. I'm not exactly sure what's going on with him at this point in time. Yeah, last dance. Well, no, not quite the last dance because there's a cup final as well. No, I don't think he isn't particularly injury prone. Same with Osimhen not happening. No, Man City aren't going to sign Osimhen. Madrid, potentially they don't get Mbappe, but I think Mbappe will finally make the move to Madrid this summer. Davies, I think, will sign a new contract. Yeah, I think he will as well. I'd be surprised if Tuchel's at Bayern next season, I'll be brutally honest. I would say that Tuchel's got a strong chance of either being at Man United or Barcelona next season. That will be my thing. He'll want Champions League football, which we can't give him. Look, we're probably not going to be playing Champions League football next season, but I think, certainly over the course of a 5-year contract or whatever, we would absolutely be able to give him the Champions League football that he'd want. If he is the manager's top player, what's the problem? What is 100k anywhere in the Premier League? Yeah, no, I agree it is. But look, it's clear that in terms of a left-back situation, Chelsea are going to need to address the left-back situation in the summer. It's clear, obviously, Ian Martin is going to be moved on. He's got a release clause in his contract. He's doing well at Borussia Dortmund. Lewis Hall is obviously going to that move to Newcastle. It's got the obligation to buy in it, and that will become permanent, providing Newcastle don't finish lower than 12th in the league, which I think is going to be unlikely. And then, obviously, I think the club don't particularly believe in Cucurella. So once he's got himself fit again, although he's performed well for us this season, I don't think the club see Cucurella as having a long-term future and there being a long-term solution for Cucurella at Chelsea. So they'll try and shift him on, which means we will need to bring another one in. So, we are going to be looking for a left-back in the summer, but it depends what sort of left-back we're going for. Is it going to be like competition for Ben Chilwell, or is it going to be a clear understudy? That's the one thing that we need to do. But I think what we need to try and do is find a gusto for the left-hand side. Find a gusto for the left-hand side. And look, Alphonso Davies, is he better than Ben Chilwell? Possibly. Definitely got the potential to be better than him if he's not better than him right now. But, he's definitely right up there. He's a top player. And we do need someone like that on the left-hand side. So this would be a great signing. Of course, it would be in a left-back situation is one that, of course, does need assessing and does need to be dealt with. But at the same time, it's not gonna happen. I personally don't feel that it's going to happen. I don't see Alphonso Davies coming to Chelsea, despite the fact he said he's a Chelsea fan. If Real Madrid come calling, it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what clubs are in the mix. When Real Madrid come, you don't say no to Real Madrid. That's what happens. You just don't say no. Even if it doesn't work out, you always take that opportunity to go to Real Madrid. That's what happens. And unfortunately, whether it's Real Madrid or whether it's Barcelona, even Barcelona and its current guys and the mess they're in, like those clubs have got heritage, they've got pull, and they've got the history, and players will always want to play for those teams. Reckon Cucurella ends up at Arsenal? Maybe, I don't know. Watching Osimhen last night, I like his speed, strength, and agility. Yeah, look, he will certainly get better. Absolutely, he's better than Chile. Davis' speed alone is crazy. Imagine the left-hand side of Davis and Mudryk. Imagine how rapid that would be. That would be crazy. That really would be. That would be quite something, wouldn't it? It would be quite something. But yeah, I'm not sure. I have a feeling TT will be the next United manager as he wants to return to England and manage. Although he was speaking about how much he likes the Spanish league and whatnot, and certainly moving abroad would be something that appeals to him in the future. But yeah, I do agree that, for me personally, I don't see Thomas Tuchel at Bayern next season. But I could certainly see him at Man United or at Barcelona. I think Barcelona could definitely be a possibility for Thomas Tuchel as well. All pace but limited technical ability. I think that's something that can definitely develop, though. He's still only 23 years of age. Feels like he's been around for an absolute eternity. But yeah, Davis and Mudryk would be absolute devastation on the counter, and I think that could well be the fastest left-hand side in football. Surely there's no way that there's a quicker left-hand side than that. Which is mad, isn't it? Absolutely mad. Let's wait and see. Let's wait and see. Let's wait and see what happens. But yeah, it's one of those where Chelsea will need to address the left back situation in the summer. As I said, it's kind of mad, right, that we started the season with left backs of Cucurella, Martson, Chilwell, and Lewis Hall. Four left backs, right? Hall's gone, Martson's gone. Cucurella and Chilwell have been injured most of the season. And and now we've only really got one left back. So yeah, let's. It's interesting how those things work out. So yeah. Oh well, it was good whilst it lasted. The Newport Man United thing, good fun whilst it lasted. Well, it's going to take a year off, but then I suspect at some point Klopp will definitely end up managing the German national team at some point, and I think he will also end up managing Bayern Munich as well, for sure. No, but it's always good when they lose though, or when they're in a tricky situation. Yep, I absolutely agree on that. I think Klopp managing Bayern Munich is one of the most obvious things going. Never say never. He could be a Real Madrid manager at some point. There's the potential for that. We'll see Osimhen at the part of the front. I don't think Osimhen will go to PSG. I don't know. I really don't know. It's hard to tell. But yeah, in terms of the left back situation, that's going to be interesting to see what we look to do, because that is definitely a position in the summer that Chelsea 100% will look to sort out, because Cucurella, I don't believe is going to be part of the club's plans moving forward. So yeah, that is absolutely something that we do need to adjust, and that we do need to think about for sure. No, the left back comes in. Colwell won't be playing left back. I think once Silva leaves at the end of the season, because I think that's pretty clear that's going to happen, then you'll see, Colwell transition into the centre of defence. So next season, I'd be surprised if we saw, unless it was for injury purposes, I'd be very surprised if we saw anything with Levi Colwell at left back, unless it was an absolute emergency. So yeah, but the left back situation, as I said, it's going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing what might happen. With that. And look, Davies would be a phenomenal signing, but yeah, I don't see it happening. I really don't see that one happening. But let's move away from that. People, keep smashing the likes, by the way. We're on 54 likes. Let's get this to 60 likes as quickly as possible, guys. Come on, let's run it up. 53 in the building. Let's get this to 60 likes. Come on, guys. Let's run it up. Right, we've got rid of that. Let's talk about another player that potentially could well be coming to Chelsea in the summer. Joe Shields believed to be a big driving force behind this. Michael Olise. Chelsea remain interested in signing Olise in the summer. However, the Palace winger would favour a move to Man United. Apparently, Olise has been a Man United fan his entire life. Poor him. And let me just dive into this article. But it's a player that we could have signed in the summer. For whatever reason, we had agreed to pay the release clause. But that it kind of fell apart. I'm not really sure what went on there. But Michael Olise, let's read this. Is by Bobby Vincent in Football London. Chelsea remain interested in signing Olise in the summer window. However, Football London understands the Palace winger would favour a move to United, with the Red Devils also interested. Despite being at Chelsea from the age of 7 to 14, Olise has always been an avid United supporter. He is aware of interest from Chelsea and United and is widely expected to leave Palace at the end of the season. Chelsea activated Olise's £35 million release clause last summer, and the winger looks set to move to Stamford Bridge. However, Olise penned a new 4-year contract at Selhurst Park. He now has a release clause in his latest contract with the Eagles that becomes active this summer, with the exact figure unknown at this stage, though it is expected to be considerably more than 35 million. He's been in fine form for Palace this season, despite his playing time being disrupted by injuries. He's featured 9 times in the league under Hodgson, scoring 5 goals and 1 assist. United are understood to be keeping a very close eye on Olise and his situation ahead of a summer move. Ten Hag's side have been disappointing in front of goal this season, with only 24 goals scored in their opening 21 Premier League matches. Look, Olise for me would be an outstanding signing. He would be so good. For me, it would be Sterling out, Olise in. But if Chelsea have got genuine interest in Olise, still, and it's believed that Joe Shields is kind of driving a move for him, then someone needs to go. So is that going to be Would that be Mudryk going? Would that be Madueke going? What would that look like? Because we can't bring Olise in, and there's another person, there's another body in the door. We would absolutely need someone else. Someone else would have to leave. Sorry, it would very much have to be a one in, one out sort of situation. So that would be interesting to see how that one develops. Guys, 2 more likes to 60. Keep smashing the like button. It's free and it takes seconds to do, and it really, really, really helps me out. So make sure that you lot are doing that, guys. Make sure you're doing that. But yeah, Michael Olise, I think, is a very, very talented player. Very talented player. Do you think Pochettino will be in next season? Yes, I do think that. But yeah, right now it's obviously different. If we missed out on Europe, I would say no. But as long as we qualify for some form of European competition, I would expect him to be here next season, in my opinion. Silva for me needs to stay at Chelsea and be part of the coaching setup. Agreed. Osimhen has to test himself at the top. Yep. Well, I mean, to be honest, mate, I don't think there's going to be any. I don't think there'll be any takers for our medical team. That's the issue. Why do you want to go to United? Yeah, that is a good point. Understandable. Man United are in a better. No, they absolutely aren't in a better. Man United are in a far worse place than Chelsea. You know, Chelsea for me are in a better position for the next few years than Man United are. No, there's no denying that at all. No denying that at all. I've maintained my stance on that. It's not going to change. Chelsea are in a better position than Man United at this point in time. No 2 ways about it. In my opinion, United are not in a good position. I totally disagree. I think he's got a lot of ability. Yes, there's a lot of room for development from him as a footballer, but I think he's a very good player. Sterling, he's injured. I don't buy into the fact he's injury prone. Yes, he's had a couple of hamstring injuries, but yeah, look, I wouldn't say he's injury prone. Yes, everyone liked the stream. Come on, guys, 59 likes now. 1 more to hit 60. And then we're gonna try and head towards 70 people. That is going to be the next target. So keep smashing the like button. Look, I think regressive. Look, if he's happy to not play regularly, I'd be more than happy to keep him. But ultimately, he's earned the right to make his own decision. But we should absolutely be offering him something. We shouldn't not be offering him anything. Yeah, not hard to have, but yes, that is also true. But the Olise thing is interesting because, as I said, if Olise does come in, which is a big if, of course, it still is a big if, then there's gonna someone out wide would need to move on. And don't remember, we've still got the likes of Angelo on loan. I'm not saying he's going to play a part. We do have Angelo. We've got Kendry Paez to come. There are a lot of players still to sort of come back into the fold, people. So let's kind of wait and see what happens on that front. But yeah, I don't know. Well, yeah, that was reported at one point that he wouldn't mind ending it where he started it at Fluminense. But let's wait and see. I mean, look, I could certainly see that being a possibility. Yeah, anyone that's hating on Silva is a bit of an odd one for me. I don't see it at all. But yeah, look, ultimately, I think it's clear that Silva probably will. This will be his last season. And look, we do have to move on from him. Of course, we do. You've got to build towards the future. But he's been a top player. Yes, it's a great draw, another home draw against lower level opposition. But we just have to. We just have to make. It's just annoying that we couldn't make we couldn't see the game off on Friday. So yeah, that's really frustrating. So let's wait and see on that front. But Olise, I'd love Michael Olise. I don't know what the release clause would be for him. I think it would probably be considerably more than the 35 million. I think it could be towards the 50 or 60 million pound mark. But for like what, a 21, 22-year-old winger with a lot of potential Premier League experience, I don't think that's ridiculous. But as I said, who would be moved on? Would it be Madueke? Would it be Mudryk? Would it be Sterling? For me, it would be Sterling. He would have done what? Is this Sterling's second season with us or third season? This would be Sterling's second season. So going into next season, he would have what, 3 years left on his deal? It's going to be on those wages. It's going to be very difficult to shift Sterling. Like Tuchel, like this idea that everything was amazing under Tuchel. We were a cup team under Tuchel. In the league, we were dreadful under Thomas Tuchel, and his signings were poor, and his talent ID is shocking. So I don't buy into this fact that, you know, getting rid of Tuchel was a massive mistake. I don't think it was. I personally don't feel he would have lasted a season anyway. I don't think we would have made a top four under him. So, yeah, look, for me, I don't think Tuchel was, loved for everything he did at this football club, and rightfully so. But let's not kind of reinvent the wheel and pretend that everything was amazing under him, because particularly in the league, it absolutely wasn't. Yeah, pretty sad. Pretty sad. Can't lie. If you guys don't like the video, Chelsea will lose to Liverpool on Wednesday. I mean, if we lost 6-0, that would be so peak. That absolutely cannot be allowed to happen. I see. Yeah, look, I don't know why. Look, the bigger picture. You have to look at the bigger picture with Mudryk. Yes, you know, you want some decent performances right now, but you know, you have to look at the bigger picture. That he wasn't. He's obviously signed for the long term, but of course, you know, you've got to try and make an impact short term. But yeah, look, he's been here just about a year. So you know, it's a short time. It's a short time now. It really is. Be brilliant for him to coach after playing. Yeah, no, it absolutely would be. I mean, look, that is something that the club should, in my opinion, definitely be looking into offering him. But at the same time, you know, you just don't know what Chelsea are thinking and what they might do. You know, they don't tend to treat players particularly well. We've seen that. You know, we have seen that in the past, and you know, hopefully that doesn't continue. Hopefully that doesn't continue, because that would be unfortunate. Would be very, very unfortunate. So yeah, but look, Olise, I think if United come in for him, he probably does choose them over us. Besides Burley himself as interim, did we have a legit talent? I don't know who was doing it. We had a chief scout in Scott McLachlan guy, but he was a joke, because you know, he was the one that, you know, was saying that we had to get Saul instead of Tchouameni, which is, yeah, that for me is, that sort of shit's unforgivable from him. And thank God he's gone. Under Tuchel, we were always going to be a cup team anyway, due to how terrible our squad was. We didn't have the players to suit the back four formation. No, we didn't. We didn't have the players. I think like the back three, look, if we had the players, Tuchel would have played a back four. But the reality of the situation was that the makeup of the squad suited the back three. And you could almost argue defensively with the options we've got, like the back three, even now, probably suits us, could well suit us reasonably well. And that's just kind of the reality of the situation. But yeah, it's funny that, isn't it? Yes, Footy Edits 8, big up the Blues, absolutely. I don't think Silva still gets called up for the squad anymore for Brazil. I couldn't be certain, or maybe he does. I don't know for certain. I'm not sure. But yeah, Olise is definitely one to watch out for in the summer. That much is absolutely clear. You know, that one for the summer. Let's kind of wait and see what happens on that front. But yeah, Chelsea's interest definitely hasn't waned, and it's definitely not gone away. But obviously, with him being with him being a United fan, that could be quite difficult for us to convince him. It could be tricky. It could be very, very tricky to get Olise to come. But all we can do is try. Todd's not going anywhere for 10 years. That's the minimum amount of time they have to spend at the club. So that's having that conversation is pointless. And actually, no, I don't think he needs to go. No. What else are we looking at here? During Tuchel's second season at Chelsea, there were times where he refused to change the formation to back four. Yeah, no, there were. How many signings in the summer? Maybe 2 or 3. I don't know. Is the honest answer to that? I'm unsure, to be perfectly honest. Olise seems like an ideal right wing for City. I mean, City were linked with him as well, I think, last summer. Olise will be a damn good addition to any team. He absolutely will be. Antonio Rudiger now as a player could have still been here today, but for whatever reason, we decided to let him run down his contract, which I don't understand and which I can't get my head around. You know, that again is another strange one. Paez, Angelo, Palmer, Noni, all within the same age bracket. I mean, Paez is not coming until 2025 summer, I think. I'd be surprised if Angelo actually played for Chelsea. That's my honesty. I think he's going to be one that's going to be bought in and he's going to be flipped on for profit. That's just my view on it. When I said some fans don't read the comments before making their views, I was not. No, that's fine. No, mate. Oh, I wasn't thinking that at all, brother. Chelsea need a striker, CDM. I don't think we need a CDM. Centre back, yes. Left back and striker, I would agree with all those. But yeah, what else have we got going on, guys? What else have we got going on in the old Chelsea news? What is happening? What is happening here? Guys, we're 6 likes away from 70. Let's try and get there as quickly as possible. Let's try and get this done, people. Let's get this to 70 likes if we can. It's 6 more likes. If you've not smashed the like button, make sure you are doing that. Is there any other news in regards to Chelsea at this point in time today? Is there anything? No, Petrovic is having a baby. Fair. Congratulations to him. I don't think there's an awful lot else going on, people. So I'll probably look to round this one out here, guys. Big up to everyone that's tuned in. Greatly appreciate all the support as always. We're blocking the pathway of all the players. It makes no sense unless they're lying to the kids that they have pathway to Chelsea's 11. Maybe. We've got Lavia. Lavia is bought in for that role. It's just he's not been fit at the moment. But yeah, guys, I'm going to round this one out here. Big up to everyone for tuning in as always. I'll be back tomorrow with potentially 2 streams. I've got Errol from Redmen TV jumping on for a chat about the Liverpool game. And I should have Ben Jacobs coming on as well tomorrow. So we can get some more detailed transfer news from him. So yeah, stay tuned for definitely 1 stream, potentially 2 tomorrow. Big up for everyone that's tuned in, guys. Appreciate your support as always. Make sure you smash that like button on the way out. It's free and it really, really helps me out. Let's get it to 70 likes if we can. 6 more likes. But yeah, smash the likes on the way out. Thanks for the support as always. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'll catch you guys again tomorrow. Love, and I'm out of here.